Now I'm going to be replacing both the DRL high beam and the regular headlight today. One of the worst driving experiences that I ever had was in a minivan driving from Phoenix, Arizona to Sedona at night in the rain, unfamiliar roads with horrible construction, irregular lanes of traffic, traffic cones, flashing lights, everything. It was just crazy. It was one of the worst driving experiences I had. And one reason why that was so terrible is that the rented minivan that I had such horrible lights. They were dim halogen lights. And if you've been driving with halogen lights all the time, you might not realize it until you drive LED lights. So switching from LED back to halogen lights in a minivan, it was a horrible experience. It was so dimly lit and it was very difficult to see the road. In fact, I had to rely on everyone else's LED lights to even see the road. So if you have halogen lights or if you have that minivan that I rented, you don't have to live like that. You can change those to LED bulbs. You can brighten the whole situation, make a dangerous situation into a safer situation where you can actually see the road. You can see deer in the side and you don't have to worry about dark spots. But you don't want bulbs that are too bright. They're going to be blinding oncoming traffic. These are the Oxilam LED light bulbs, and these are an affordable way that you can replace your halogen bulbs and get some good, bright clarity, eliminate dark areas, and to improve nighttime driving and safety. Oxilam was nice enough to send me these to try out, and they also gave me a referral code, which means you get 20% off. Use the referral code in the link in the description below for 20% off, making these even more affordable. So let's check these out and let's get these installed. I got the Q36 series for both the main headlights and also to replace the brights, which are also the DRLs. All right, so we should talk about first, are LED light bulbs even legal for on-road use? That question comes up especially when you change out a halogen bulb to an LED bulb. So technically LED light bulbs, when you're changing from halogen to LED, is considered legal for off-road use, not necessarily on-road use. If your vehicle came with LED lights and you're changing from LED to LED, that housing is considered LED housing, DOT certified, meets all federal regulations, and so that is considered legal, as long as the color temperature is 6,000 Kelvin or less. Now, when you change from a halogen bulb to an LED bulb, the housing is designed for that halogen bulb. And so what becomes a problem is when you change to LED, it can cause excessive glare and brightness to oncoming traffic. And that's what makes the LED bulbs not legal for road use, which is why I specifically got the Oxilam Q36 series, in that it has a one-to-one design pattern similar to a halogen bulb, in that it mimics the beam pattern of a halogen bulb. It just makes that beam pattern brighter. And so it eliminates dark spots, but it in theory should not cause excessive glare or blinding oncoming traffic. And that's the dangerous part that can cause accidents, and that is why many LED bulbs are considered not legal for on-road use. Their beam pattern is just too large, or they just are too bright for oncoming traffic. My current headlights, I have gotten flashed multiple times. People think I have my brights on, but I just don't. They're just really bright LED bulbs. And so it'll be interesting to see when I replace those, I'll get less people flashing their brights at me thinking I have my brights on. Now the headlight is an LED already, and that came as an LED. So that housing is an LED. So I'm going from LED to LED, so that is considered road legal. The high beam is going from halogen to LED. That's considered not road legal. But I will only be using the high beams when there's no other traffic around me, so I don't have to blind other people at all. So I'm not too worried about that one as considered not road legal, because I will only be using the high beams when nobody else is around, and that will improve my vision quite a bit. From halogen to LED, it's going to be a huge upgrade, and I think a big safety upgrade.
Now, luckily, a lot of these lights are interchangeable with a variety of different vehicles, not just the 4Runner.
So let's open these up. First off, we have them labeled. So this one is the 9005 HB3 series, which will be the bright lights, the bright headlights. And this is the H8, 9, 11, 16. This one will replace the standard headlights. So when you open them up, they come with these white cloth gloves, and you're supposed to wear these when you're installing them because you're not really supposed to touch any of the bulb with your fingers, because oils on your fingers will get on here and cause uneven temperature heatness. So you can use these gloves to handle these. What the Q36 refers to is that this is a 1-to-1 ratio design, which means it's the same size and shape as a standard halogen bulb, which makes installation super easy, and it also replicates the beam pattern of a halogen bulb, but it improves the brightness of that beam pattern, which means any dark spots that you have with halogen bulb, all those dark spots are going to go away. It also has a full aluminum housing, which means this isn't plastic, it's not going to melt, it's not going to break, it's going to help withstand temperature extremes, so that hugely increases its durability. The base that the LED is embedded into is a copper base and also has a silent turbo fan. Super low profile, you don't need any modifications. Your dust cap that fits on here, you can just use your standard dust cap. You don't have to have any adapters. It'll fit in there just fine. This is going to last a really long time. In fact, they say 50,000 hours of continuous lighting, which means that's like roughly 12 hours a day for like 10 years. It's a huge, huge amount. I asked Oxilam if these bulbs can actually withstand Minnesota weather. They assured me that it can. In fact, they're designed to have an operating temperature of negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit up to about 176 degrees Fahrenheit. That's basically Minnesota. They are also IP68 waterproof, which means that they are dustproof and also can be submerged 1.5 meters of water for about 30 minutes. Now, these are what's also called CAN bus ready, which CAN refers to controller area network bus, which is a direct electrical communication between ECUs, or electronic control units, and other systems without needing a computer. So what does that mean? That means that these are not going to be flickering. And it also means you're not going to be getting error codes. And that's true of about 99% of the installations. In the 1% of installations, you might get an error code or some flickering. If that's the case, contact Oxilam, and they said that they will send you a decoder to take care of that.
Okay, so this is the passenger side, and you will notice right here, this light is going to the main headlight. And this light is the DRL, or high beam. Now the high beam, or the brights, that's going to be the 9005 HB3. And you'll notice that I also have no tools with me. This is completely no tool installation. It's also raining out right now, and so it gives you an idea of, hopefully we can get this done pretty quickly. So the first step, we're going to do the brights. We have to rotate it a little bit, and there is the light. We unclamp it right here and pull it out. That is the halogen bulb. We are going to get our white gloves on. Connect this. Snaps right in there. There we go. So that just rotated right in. You can see the little fan right there. Okay, That's good. Now we have this one. Here we just rotate that. This is the dust cover. That pops right off. Now, pretty similar, we rotate it and pull it out. And this one is going to be the H8 or the H11. Okay, you can see how that just kind of fit right in there. And I'll put that dust cover right back on. All right, this is the moment of truth. We have the passenger side installed. We're leaving the driver's side just for comparison. Let's just see if this starts, see if there's any flickering, make sure they work, make sure there's no error codes. Okay, no error codes. All right, here are the headlights. That's the new one, that's the old one. Kind of hard to tell the difference. Might be able to see a little bit better at night. And these are the high beams. Halogen, LED. So that was the easier side. Now the more difficult side is going to be this side because I have all this wiring right in here. What we'll have to do is kind of get rid of some of these zip ties so we can have access down in there. Move some of these cables back so now we have a little bit better access to the headlight and the high beam light right there. So we got to rotate it counterclockwise. Okay, we got the halogen out and put this one in. Okay, that's nice and solid. That's good. Now this one, remove that dust cover. All right. Man, that one is really just hard to see. You can see that this one comes with a decoder for flashing and all this extra stuff, which we don't need. You can't really see what you're doing, but you can feel it. And it feels locked in there now. We'll put that dust cover back on now. All right, I'll get this wiring zip tied all back in place and tucked in there nicely. You should be good to go then. All right, got everything all tucked nice back in place. Everything is good and solid. So now we can close it all up. Here's a look at what was in there. Here's that halogen bulb. You can just see, just fits right in there. Fits right in there perfectly. That tells you, yeah, it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio with the installation. Don't need any adapters or anything. It just fits right in. Compared to, I don't know what brand this is, but I mean, look at that size difference. All this stuff that you have to jam into that housing, and these, the Q36 series, it's that 1-to-1 ratio. You don't have all this that you have to jam into that housing. None of that. All right, we got this installation all done. You can see it's raining out. We got this done in just a matter of a few minutes. How easy it was, no tools required. Everything is just plug right in, very easy. So you can do this at home in your driveway in the rain in a few minutes. Super easy to do. No flickering, everything is working the way they should. No error codes, nothing like that. So everything is looking really good.
One thing that I noticed when comparing the standard LED with the Oxilam is that the Oxilam has a darker area for oncoming traffic, and that really reduces glare. Now comparing the brights, we have the halogen, which is more of a circular type pattern, and the Oxilam is more of a rectangular pattern, which I really do like. It seems to really fill out those sidelines very well.
So after using these Oxilam bulbs for a while, what I realized is that they do function as a DRL, or a daytime running light, which I didn't think that they did initially. So with LED bulbs, especially ones that function for both high beam and a daytime running light, oftentimes it is the same bulb and can be used for both high beam and daytime running light. But when you replace a halogen bulb with an LED bulb, sometimes, depending on the vehicle, it can reduce the voltage, or it can use what's called pulse width modulation to decrease the intensity of that bulb. And that sometimes interferes with the brightness of the LED bulb. And so what you get is a bulb that either is on super bright all the time, or a bulb that flickers at low intensity, or a bulb that just happens to function. And these Oxilam bulbs actually just happen to function. You might be able to notice a very, very slight flicker, but it's hardly anything at all. In fact, I was expecting these DRLs to not work at all and only be used for the function for the high beam. So I'm actually kind of surprised. These are at a low enough dimness where they're not going to be blinding anyone as a daytime running light. And there's very minimally noticed flickering at all. In fact, it's really hard to tell if there's any sort of flickering at all, even on video. So I'm pretty happy with these Oxilam bulbs. Oxilam has been really great to communicate with. If you are interested in upgrading your halogen bulbs to LED bulbs or replacing old LED bulbs, check out Oxilam, and don't forget to use the referral link in the code below in the description for 20% off. Super affordable, great deal. Check them out. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, and share it with anyone else that you think might be interested in replacing their lights. Thanks again to Oxilam for supporting this video and making this possible. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you next time. Bye.